Hello. Here in this video, I'd like to introduce you to a very important term called as the bearing angle to uh, your concepts. So it's called as the bearing angle. Now this is an important term to navigation, and there's a special way in which a bearing angle is measured. Let's presume and look at a few places that you see on the map around you. One is Girnare, Dugaon, Mahadevpur, Jalalpur, and if you may look, you may find that your school would be, this would be a school ground somewhere. It may be a little hazy, but this would be a school ground that I'm marking now. And if this is the north direction that I am marking at this moment, this is the north, then from your school, when you look at all these different places, there are different angles, and we try to standardize a measurement system to each of these places. Let's look at Dugaon. That is Dugaon over here. Dugaon is a place. Let me just mark it in another color. Maybe I am able to. I'm using red over there. So if I am to look at Dugaon, so the measurement is done in an anti-clockwise manner. Dugaon is right over here, and this is the north of the Dugaon. So all references are taken towards the north. So the angle taken would be in this manner that I show. Here it is. So this is the distance from your school, from Fravashi to Dugaon, and the angle makes it unique. Okay, the angle makes it unique. But why I say that the angle makes it unique is because in this proximity, in this radius, if I take this blue radius, and there could be other places in this location, in this radius. If I'm going to make a circle around this, there could be several other places in this radius. Now all these places would actually be at the same distance as Fravashi to Dugaon, all these places, because they are in the same radius. But what makes Dugaon unique from our school is this angle. So this angle here makes it unique. Other places, whichever this may be, okay, maybe X, maybe Y, maybe Z, each of them have different angles in the clockwise sense. So the bearing angle is measured only in the clockwise sense, as you may see along the clock. So if the Dugaon is at, say, some 20 degrees at a distance of, say, some 2 kilometers from our school, okay, then others are also at 2 kilometers, but X, the angle X, would be at 2 kilometers, true, but maybe a little bit more, and maybe that is 40 degrees. Maybe Y is again at 2 kilometers from Fravashi, but maybe that's at 90 degrees. If you see, the angle comes out to be 90 degrees with reference to our line. Likewise, Z comes out to be a little bit more than that, and probably this is Z over here. This is also at 2 kilometers, but maybe at around 120 degrees. Okay, and so on and so forth. We can go the entire way. So we measure all the angles in the complete circle only in this manner. So for instance, if I were to see this place, maybe I like to look at this is the join of the turn towards our school. So this must be Gamat Jamat. If I may mark this location, this may be Gamat Jamat. So in that case, our angle, if I were to take the angle from here, sorry, a little off, pardon me on that. Let me just redraw that for you. So if you look at this now, this is again your north, Gamat Jamat, okay, but your angle is going to be this entire thing. That's close to 180 degrees, so maybe somewhere around 170 degrees. Okay, so this is how we measure. Now there is a particular way of measuring. It's a particular way of writing the angles. Now when we write a bearing angle, it is essential for us to use a notation, and the notation will be always be in 3 digits. So the angle would be written in this manner. If it's like if it's about Dugaon, okay, the bearing angle of Dugaon from Fravashi, the bearing angle of Dugaon from Fravashi is going to be 0 to 0 degrees. So you're going to write it in 3 digits all the while. You confirm, you provide the navigation that the first digit is always a 0 in this case. But if we were to look at the position Z over here, position Z, it is already in 3 digits. So that's 120 degrees. So whenever you have a 2-digit number as an angle, you ensure that it is written with a 3-digit. That is the general way of writing it. Now there's one more thing. Let us presume that there is a boat on this waters. We have a boat in this location, and now I like to consider the bearing angle. Okay, the bearing angle. So again, I always consider my north. First I draw, what I do is always draw my north, and then I make a join from in this manner. So now when I look at my angle, let me just remove these things, clear this up to make it more clearer. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So now when I'm looking at my write my bearing angle. Okay, now remember that this is going to be this is going to be, this straight down would have been a 180 degrees, and here this is a 90 degrees, and the one that I'm making now would create a 270 degrees if I go clockwise. For instance, this is 90, this is going to be 180 degrees, going all the way around. This would have until here a 270 degrees. Okay, fine. So what would be the angle that I have made over here? This would be between 180 degrees and 270 degrees. So this is 270 degrees till here. So this would be between, and maybe approximately if it is somewhere over here, we can see this to be as maybe around a 210 degrees or 200 degrees. But still, what's important to note is that this would be measured only in the clockwise sense. how do I read this about the boat? I write the bearing of the boat from Fi is 210 degrees. So this is a language that is used. This is a way that we express ourselves when we write bearing angles. The bearing of the boat from Fi is 210 degrees. Okay.